Ezekiel part 3. I left off at chapter 33, and I think I'll get back to it. I'm having a little problems, so bear with me if I make a mistake in this video. It's because I don't know what the problem is. I can't get that computer to work. I can't get my screens to be changed on time. It seems they're lagging. And yet I've rebooted everything. Anyways, here I'm, that's simple change. Make ready to get ready, or make to get ready is same thing, but just said a little bit different. More truthfully, since it's not a big change, I'm not putting it in yellow. Here I needed to add the word remember, even though it's from the word take. You will take. Does not take my warning. And does not take my warning. You will remember my warning at the sound of the horn. That's pretty much what the text is telling me to put in. Here, I had to add the word spilled, and it's talking about blood being spilled. Might have covered this last little bit in the other video, but that one ran 52, and I didn't know if I was going to remake the video. Seems I'm able to download that video, so I didn't need to make it over. I changed it he to who, even though you see 3 words here. 1, 2, 3. This still each of them are needed to actually mean what's going on in that verse. From the word, taken. That's what happened. I entered a comma there, or Tisdale. Taken to be obeyed. I guess that's quite different. So I'm adding this word here. The message is prophecy. Wickedness to evilness. I do that quite often, wicked to evil. Turn is to repent, so it's still the same meaning. Delivered, but they're actually saving their lives, not delivered their lives, but he's saving their lives. And there's a 12th year of the exile. No, that stuff just doesn't exist. The only thing we really have about the exiles is Daniel. Okay, and here's a prophecy, and I'm probably 3/4 of the way through, and I don't know if this video is going to be really long or not. So when I ran that other one over by, I think, 12 minutes, that should have been in here. So if this video is short, that's what happened. And behold the sea, or saw. Surface is talking about the land surface. Like I described, the definition for land here is the surface. Underneath is used for the word ground. Had to add the word again to make this format. Had to add the word alone. And I guess I should have said that all this text was added. So it needs to be yellow, keeping with the new codifying that I'm trying to put in. So I don't think I need to explain that. When you read the verses together, it should make sense. Sinew is, well, I don't care what it is how they describe it. It's muscles. The flesh is actually skin. So I'm using the word skin. I had to add why his name here, and then I am using the word from so to then, and that's as the third word or second word, so that's okay. The word so could have been used and it would have been the same, but I don't like using the word so to start a verse off. It's all about encryption. Here again, muscles, prophecies. Well, he said to me, not prophesied to him, but he commanded him to do this, to breathe, for breath to enter the bones. Because here the bones came back together, and then he saw the muscles going on them, and then the skin covered them, and then they didn't breathe. So this is going to be our Creator here speaking. So he said to me to command them to breathe, and I commanded them to breathe. And then they came to life like the greatest army. Didn't need the word bones here because now they're bodies. They're covered with skin now and breathing. So it's bodies, not bones. Descendants from the word house is a better word than house. Perished, died. I think you understand that's pretty easy change. I'm not adding the word Lord here. What I'm doing is I was going to mention that this is the word that they use for Lord, and see how they used it as the text here, and it still remains Lord. When I went through all the verses, it was speaking to him as a personal overseer of them. So that's what Lord, the definition of the Lord here in the text will mean, or it's actually given for that reason by the other verses. Into his kingdom, this would be Jesus's kingdom, but I added the words here. So this maybe I should change to red to make sure we honor Jesus. Here the word is stick, but it's actually a board. Because if you're going to write on a stick, you can't, but if he's going to carve on it, I'm going to put he carved on a board. And then he's going to take another one and he's going to take another and carve on it Israel. He's going to have one for Judah and one for Israel. And then he says, join them together as one and as one carve. Join them together as one carved. I'm not sure if I'm going to change this word later because of the fact that it is something I really need to think about. And when you join these together, how to join them together as one. Yeah, that's going to be confusing. So I better put that as this color here and say I need to think about that some more, and we'll explain it when I get that far. I needed to add the word carry it in your hands. I can see right now that I should do this. Oops. And use this text. So if I get rid of this word altogether and say all 8 point, join them together that they not may, but will become one, then carry it in your hands. Okay, let me copy that, because that I got to change in all the text now that I should have rechecked the text to see what was going on. And that live editing, yay. Anyways, better save that. Saying to ask because it's the proper word. And should be changing these to the green that I'm just actually should be clear because that's what it started with. As one nation, meaning the nation of Israel as a whole group. And you can see these are all capital letters and not small capital letters. Take will be remove, same word, different use. Kingdoms. Bring is to return them to their land, and that's the intent of the word. So to return them, not changing that much there. Ordinances to commands, I've been through that a few times. Not gave to Jacob, but to Israel when he started really promising Israel, or Jacob, he changed his name to Israel. And then I'm using it here as the nation Israel, to be like my servants, your forefathers. Not sons, but descendants. Prince, king forever. Jesus is going to be king forever here. And that's part of his everlasting promise, or promises that he goes through. So, but this was part of his everlasting, as my everlasting prophets, or promise that you'll end up, it becomes his promise. All these things build up as a promise to live in heaven with him and Jesus our King. Okay, this group has all been said by another prophet, so I don't need to get into that. So, okay, now this would be talking about them coming from the north. So this is the first time we're actually seeing text inside Ezekiel talking about those coming from Assyria, I believe, even though we have to figure out where that land is at. It's kind of hard to say what, we just know that there are places up there. So was it, because when you look at the map of the Euphrates rivers kind of make that little area where Babylon, the city of Babylon is at, that land was pretty safe and locked in, could be well protected. The rivers are really huge to pass, but it's a very well protected land at that time. But the object is like I said, I got other text from other prophets about Assyria coming down. So don't need any of this text. Let's see how far it goes before it's, because I know a lot at the end is going to be removed. I just don't know if I got one more chapter here or not. Like I said, when you read through it, maybe there's a few places, but there's no really meat of a story. I mean, to tell the story of what's going on, it's just a set of small little groupings of words that have meaning only for their way of practice of life. And here, example, talking about having their own money, shekels by weight. They used silver from the time of Abraham. So in keeping with that, they wouldn't have been stamping, so there's really no such thing as a shekel. That was just a made up, like a money system later. And it does look like that there's going to be nothing here to the end. Yep, that's going to be the end of this one. And it only made it 15 minutes long, but that's because I got overexcited on the last one. So what I'll do is I'll correct that verse and then get back with the next one and just clean the text up to show you what the text looks like when it's cleaned up. And then what I'll probably do is take you further and show you the three verses that end up getting grouped as one, and then how it cleaned up and how I tried to put it in order, and then the four verse and how it kind of went together, and maybe get all that in together as one and be Ezekiel as the end. But the object is that's my goal for the next video. So I'll talk to you then.